Hi guys, it's Sakina. I'm back with a new video. I am your eco-friendly hostess with the mostest. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I love to enrich people's lives with great product reviews of eco-friendly products, beauty products, skincare products. I like to talk about health and wellness, as well as just overall lifestyle, living a healthy lifestyle. In today's video, I wanted to talk to you about intuition. What is intuition and how do you strengthen it? And the reason why I chose this video topic today is because about 5 years ago, I was in a place where maybe you are right now, and you were wondering, what is intuition? Why do people keep saying, follow your intuition? What does that even mean? Like, I never understood what intuition was until I started to develop it. So in this video, I'm going to teach you how I began to develop my intuition, where I am now in that journey, and how you can strengthen and build your own intuition. So without further ado, let's get into our video topic. They tell me that I'm never gonna make it. They want me to do something. As I said, at one point in my life, I did not know. Like, I've had knowledge of intuition, but I didn't understand what it was. And I was really young in my 20s and still making the same mistakes. I was repeating cycles and I couldn't understand how to get out of them. And people would keep, I was directionless in life and I didn't know where I was going. And all I kept hearing from people is, intuition, follow your heart, all those types of things. And it's such an arbitrary thing to say if you don't really know what intuition is. And so I just started asking and talking to God. I think I probably the more that I asked that question, the more it began to be revealed to me. And it was first revealed to me through a sensation that happened. It began in around 2018 or 2019. And I began to have this popping sensation. No, it started before 2019, definitely 2018. Definitely 2018. My Kundalini had awakened the year prior, and I might have to do an entirely other video about that. I'm not really sure if I'm ready to share that experience, but my Kundalini awakened in 2017. At that time, I didn't know what a Kundalini was. It just happened. It just awakened. And the only thing I could attribute to what I was experiencing was that when I searched online, the Kundalini awakening sounded kind of like what I had to just experience. And so that's what I've been terming it as, because I'm pretty sure that's what it was. It wasn't intentional. It wasn't something that I was trying to do. It just happened. And that's when everything changed. So in 2018, I was working at Uber Eats as an account manager, and I began developing these weird sensations in my chest. And they were like burning sensations. And they happened anytime I had a confrontation with someone. I didn't know what was happening at that time, but part of an accounts manager's job is you have to call up your clients and check on them, make sure that they're liking the product, they don't have any questions or needing assistance with the product. And I remember vividly this one particular instance where this manager at this restaurant, one of our Eats restaurants, I called him up and he was really mad and he was just really angry because he had been trying to get in touch with us for a long time. And I immediately, after our phone interaction, I told my coworker, I was like, I feel so raw right now. My chest felt raw. And the only way I could describe it was after you have a really deep cry, when you when you have one of those really emotional points and you just have this really big cry, and afterwards everything just feels so raw and it just feels raw. That's the only word I know to describe that feeling. It just feels really raw and open. That's how I felt, but it was just from a phone conversation, and I didn't actually feel I didn't have those emotions. And I was so I was feeling his emotions, and his emotions made my insides do that. And so that was what I would probably say was my first inkling, okay, this is something different. And I had never experienced that before, at least not consciously. And then flash forward a year later, and I began experiencing these really weird popping sensations in my solar plexus and chest area. And I didn't know what it was. I just knew that it sounded like a grumbling tummy, but it wasn't in my tummy. It wasn't in my tummy area. It was like in my chest and sometimes lower in my solar plexus, which is about right here. So your solar plexus is right here. Your heart chakra is here. And then your tummy is down here. And it wasn't in my tummy. It was like up here in my chest and in my solar plexus. And I was, okay, so as I mentioned, there was an increased popping sound, gurgling, almost sounded like my stomach was growling. However, it was not coming from my stomach. It was coming from my heart chakra and my solar plexus. And so this is around 2019. And I mentioned it to my mom because I was like, this is weird. Then I mentioned it to my mom because I finally figured out what it was. And this is going to sound super weird. So it is what it is. I realized there was a connection between that gurgling, popping noise and whenever someone texted me, for instance, or messaged me on social media. Don't ask me how I know. I just realized, I don't know, something happened and I had that feeling. And then I immediately looked at my phone or something and saw that I had a text message or a message on social media. I don't really remember how I correlated the two, but eventually I correlated it with someone trying to connect with me. And anytime someone would try to connect with me, whether it was through text message or message me on social media or something like that, I instantly would feel that, gurgling. And I would test it out. I wouldn't be by my phone. I wouldn't be checking social media or anything like that. But if I started feeling that popping feeling, I was like, let me see if I have a message. And sure enough, I had messages or something like that. And as soon as I responded to it or interacted with the person, that sound increased or it immediately made more noise. So I felt like maybe it was an energetic cord where someone was trying to connect with me in that space. And now that I think about it, it actually happened prior, but I'm just not remembering that I actually had that sensation earlier, but I hadn't put two and two together yet because it was a new sensation for me. I think when I realized it, I had been dating this guy and he messaged me and I immediately started to feel that weird feeling in my chest, the gurgling and all that popping sounds. And I remember it vividly now. I remember sitting on my couch and us having this text conversation back and forth and me experiencing that and me being aware that I was experiencing that. So that started to happen around 2018, early 2019. And I had let my mom know and told her, I was like, this is weird. And I was like, you know what? Next time it happens, I want you to hear it. And so one time I was at my parents' house and it happened. And I was like, do you hear that? And she was like, yeah, I do. And I was like, that's not my stomach, Mom. That's coming from my chest. And she was like, she just thought it was weird. And I told her what I thought was related to it. And I mean, that was it. There was nothing much else to discuss. But I just wanted someone else to prove that I wasn't crazy and that I wasn't just hearing things on my own. Now, something else that I started to notice around 2019 was, in addition to the gurgling and popping noises in my chest, I also started having a lot of popping sensations in my joints. So my neck, and I've never been a popper. You know those people who pop their necks and it's just I've never been like that, but all of a sudden my neck was popping and my elbows and my wrists and my ankles, all my joints were popping, but particularly more my neck. And at this time I started to go see a chiropractor, and I apologize for the noise, the AC just came on. But I went to go see a chiropractor because I thought it was something related to me working at the desk and looking down at my computer. So I began seeing a chiropractor for months, and he was helping me do these different exercises to realign my spine, which he said that my head was pushed forward. I honestly don't think that had anything to do with the popping noises. But I did realize that when I was more stressed, the popping did increase. And now as that has increased and I've gotten used to it, I relate it to large amounts of stress, but particularly having to carry the energetic load of someone else. So when I'm working at work and I'm dealing with people, and they're trying to take my energy. They want me to pay attention to them. They're talking to me and I have to sit there and be present with them. I notice that I tend to want to pop my neck because there's this tension between us. They're pulling for my energy and I desperately don't want to be there dealing with them, and I can just pop my neck and just like release some of the tension between our interaction. So I'm telling y'all all of this because this is how I learned what intuition was. Now I'm going to go ahead and give you like the most simplified definition of intuition as I know it. And to me, intuition is how your body speaks to you. That's, if I could simplify it to like the simple way, I would say the language of your body within yourself. So when you say, if someone were to say, listen to your intuition, listen to your body. What is your body telling you? The more I started to pay attention to those small sensations, and I would try to correlate those sensations with things that were going on in my life, the more I was able to understand, oh, when this starts to occur outside in my life, I start to feel this sensation on the inside. So I can kind of relate the two. That is how I discovered what intuition was. Now, if it was painful, I knew it was not good. And around 2021, I started experiencing intense pain and energetic blockages, as I like to call them, which was just increased popping, increased tension within my body, like my joints, my neck, everything. I literally would sometimes feel just like all my energy was just stuck in so many different places. And it would unwind eventually over time, over days, but it would get so blocked up. It felt like I had a cord sometimes stretched from like one shoulder, like, or maybe like from over here to my neck, or down to my hip or to my root chakra. And it would just feel like my energy that normally would be flowing up and out was just all over the place, just all over my body, causing tightness in areas. And it was just really wreaking havoc on my life. I realized a lot of this was dealing with inner tension, with me not being happy with work and my life and wanting to change it and not knowing the proper way to handle that. And a lot of times my ego would get in the way and I would act out of my ego or react out of my ego, and that would cause a huge energy blockage because I would do something that was out of alignment with what I would call healthy, or what was healthy for my body and my energetic system. And as soon as I did that, I could immediately feel a shift in my energy. And I just knew, ooh, like, it's like, it became such like, so like clockwork every single week that I was like, oh no, I just did something that I wasn't supposed to do. And I could just feel my energy shift. I could feel my energy, I could feel something tug in my solar plexus, and I knew that I had done something like, ooh, not good. And it would play out from the day that I made that one decision all the way. Usually it takes about a week. This is what I've learned. Not always, but usually it will take about a week for it to reset and go back to alignment. And I would do that one thing, and then the next couple days were pretty much hell. I hate to use that word. I don't know if I'm gonna get flagged for that, but it was pretty much like that because my energy was all blocked. And then whenever my energy is blocked and everything's not feeling good on the inside, things on the outside in the outside world are not good. And this is how I began to develop and learn what intuition was. And I was learning through just the experience of having these new sensations in my body, but also reading books like Michael Singer's Untethered Soul, which Untethered Soul speaks to these blockages. And his book is all about how to clear the blockages, how to let them release, and how to not create new ones. I highly recommend it. I do talk about this book and others in the video above, where I talk about my favorite spirituality books. And that book kind of helps me and really helped me start to learn how to manage my energy better. There became a point where I was like so afraid to make the wrong move, to do the wrong thing, because I knew that the wrong move would result in me having this really bad reaction inside of my body, like this energetic blockages that were so uncomfortable and painful. I'd say they were the worst in 2021, and I took a break from work at that time just because I felt like if I continue down this path, like, and not figure out what I need to do, like, this isn't working. Whatever I'm in is just not working. This system, this matrix system that I've created for myself is not working. I need to get out of here because it is driving me crazy because I keep doing things that keep blocking my energy and I don't know how to stop it. And the only thing that I know is to leave this environment. So I did that and it helped tremendously. And I pretty much have started to have to rebuild my life from that because whatever was going on in my life at that time was not working. And I think 2020 and 2021 were huge for a lot of people because I think it was a big significant moment in history where we all had to reflect on our lives and how we were living, the people who were in our lives. Specifically me and my friendships, I started to look at the people who I was connected to, and it was a great opportunity for me to purge and really think about who I wanted to take with me after all of that craziness was over.
They tell me that I'm never gonna make it. They want me to do something that could make sense. They hate when I keep dreaming I'll be famous.